And we're live on the radio. Bow. We're live there too.
Oh, yeah. I just saw this tablet. Wow. Okay.
Right? You see what I said about the chunk missing out of the top corner?
There's actually two chunks missing. One
There's
in the
two.
top corner and one in the other top corner.
Oh, I missed that one. Holy. Yeah, I missed that one.
I think this is just the... Oh, it's just the digitizer screen. That's what it looks like. It doesn't look like the entire thing. Oh.
Yeah. It is. It looks like it is just a screen. Yeah.
And then the case itself is folded in half. Okay. I thought that was a laptop on top of it.
What? Oh my God! It is the case.
That was sitting on top of it, and I'm like, no, that's the. I was like, wow.
Holy.
That's the.
It's a good thing we're on the radio right now because what I was about to say, I'd have had to pay. I'd have had to pay. I'm not gonna lie, I'd have had to pay to the swear jar on that one.
You gotta ask her about that. Wow.
Like for real.
Okay.
Like seriously, holy. Oh my God. And hey, James in the chat, how you doing, man? How's your Saturday going, man? You doing all right? Staying hydrated? Doing your yoga? Right. And your Pilates? Getting the cardio up, man?
Okay. I guess we can start.
Yeah, and Gretchen will join. Gretchen will join when she can. So cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. It is past 2:00. It is 2:07 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is Model Citizen. I'm your host, George Dayer. I am flanked by my wonderful co-host, the angriest of IT nerds on the East Coast, Gilbert. His name is Gilbert. We also we're expecting Gretchen to come in today. So I guess let's get into it. So what models did you build this week? We didn't build anything. No.
So here's the thing. I'm looking at building a new Stone of Baron Zaya from the game Skyrim.
Nice.
But see, the thing is, I'm looking at doing making the actual gem float. So I'm trying to find a DIY kind of magnetic levitation type of thing, so that it actually fits inside the case. But I got to find one like a custom size small enough to fit into the case. But also, well, not that big of a deal because I can put a hole within the gem itself, so that the little piece that floats brings that up with it. So, but yeah, that one it's taking a little bit of time, just trying to find that one magnetic levitation piece because I can't. I have to have that gem floating. I don't know. It's just it's messing with me because the one that I printed before, and I worked with it and I got it looking really nice, but I want the gem to float. So it's just it's not floating because I didn't have, I didn't think about, putting a, levitation thing in there so it can float.
Are you, oh, sorry.
Yeah.
All right. So which axis is it going to float on? I guess because it is it is shaped like a
it's shaped kind of like a
diamond. It's shaped more it's more
sort of well, here, hang on, let me grab the one I got printed already.
Okay.
Hang on.
All right, cool. And I know he's going to make it float at the two worst axes. The two worst axes I know is going to be because it's a very long crystal.
Yeah, because
And you're going to make it float at the two worst sides.
No, because see, the way it is, right? Because if everybody can see, because see, you have the
it's
hang
a little
on,
blurred, but
hang on, let me
take the blur out of your camera.
take the
There you
blur
go.
out. So
that's
we
cool.
have right here, right, and the way in the game it floats like this.
Oh,
Like it floats turning around like that.
Okay.
So the only thing that I can do is just have it float just stationary like that. So hang on, let me adjust it. So that when it float, it just stays floating like that. I can't have it twisting or turning like that, but you know, that's a level of physics I haven't figured out yet.
So the casing is going to be the casing is going to have some sort of
because
magnetic flotation,
because inside here is that's where the magnetic, like the base of it goes.
Okay, cool.
But see, in here it has to be enough to fit in here, which the only way I may have to adjust the size of it, but because I can't find the base in here that'll fit within the inside of here.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I'm at right now. I'm at the planning stages of this venture I'm going into.
You're a glutton for punishment, yes.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I gotta keep doing it. I don't know. I gotta keep doing it. As James here says that the last model I built was an F-14 Tomcat. Favorite aircraft. Nice aircraft. That's really nice aircraft. Yeah. When I went to Corpus Christi, I got to see one in Top Gun. Awesome.
Nice.
And
that's my favorite aircraft as well. Couple guys from the model show in Mosquito Con in Wayne, New Jersey. There's one guy actually has like a highly detailed F-14 Tomcat. It's I'm gonna say it's 1/12 scale.
Okay.
1/12 scale. It's about 4 feet long. I think it's like 4 feet long, but it's got the wings that open up. It's great.
Oh, nice. That's awesome, man.
I think
awesome.
I asked the guy how much the model kit cost him. He said the kit cost him about $3,000, and then that was just the kit. Then he had to put it all together, and then he put servos into the wings to make the wings open up, and do all the ailerons and the flaps and stuff. And
okay.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. And James said he's playing Warframe. Oh, he's playing Warframe. Okay.
But yeah, that is pretty cool, man. That is pretty cool. And and see, and here's the thing with me and this 3D printer, where it get to be a little bit dangerous, because when I scroll through TikTok, right, and I see something that this kind of makes me think, you know what, I'm going to do a stitch on this, and I'm going to make a joke out of it, because I'm going to print something that is going to make it into a joke. Like, for a while, it was going around that there was this one super rich lady that had like a little thing built that looks like the inside of a private jet.
Okay.
So I had the idea that I was going to print out an entire G6 and say you can have your little nook right there. I have an entire plane. You know, didn't do it, but I thought about it.
Buddy of mine, was it my buddy Kevin? I'm in Canada. He said, "How come you don't build big models?" I was like, "What do you mean big models?" And he goes, "I had this idea of making a model kit that's like full size." What do you mean full size? And he goes, you know, kind of like the 2001 Space Pod. I was like,
right.
All right. So the 2001 Space Pod, full size. It's about 7 feet in diameter. I was like, okay. And he goes, just make it into a kit and sell it. And I was like,
yeah. Okay.
Okay. And how am I going to ship this thing? How am I going to ship the kit? You know, is it gonna be partially built? He goes, right. Well, you know, you can make it partially built. I'm like, because I said it's an interesting idea, but shipping it around the world, I
think you need to work out the logistics of that. You know,
yeah. I mean,
locally, you're great.
Yeah,
not a problem. Locally, you know, you got it.
Your house, it's right. If it's within a couple of miles. But
yeah, locally, you got it covered. Past that, you gotta revisit your logistics.
He was a little a little high that night. I think he was just drinking a lot, and he was just. You know, we were just drinking, we were just talking, and he's like, "Hey, did anybody ever think of do?" I was like, "Yeah, that would really be cool, but
it'd be kind of cool."
You know, have an X-wing in your backyard that's 35 feet long. You know, a T-65 X-wing, but
yeah, not sure how well that will work out, but hey,
not sure how that would work out with the wife. You know, like going you've had that damn X-wing in the backyard for the longest time. We don't have any kids, and da 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 da. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, but yeah, we got an X-wing. It's like no matter what she says, just send it with, yeah, but it's an X-wing. I don't understand where's this coming from. It's an X-wing.
I don't understand where this is coming from.
I don't understand where all this is coming from. It's an X-wing. I don't understand where all this is coming from.
With it, like when we were talking to James that time, I think 2-3 weeks, and I think 3 weeks ago, we're talking to him. And he's like, well, I'm going to put my model here, and then his wife goes, no, you're not going to put it there. No, you're not going to put it there. And I had thought of because there was a guy. Who built a model of Bespin, the Cloud City, from Empire Strikes Back, and it was real big, but he put a glass table on top of it, so it looks like it's a glass table, it's functional, and then underneath the glass is the model, and then the thing to hold the table, the actual piece, it goes through the model into the base, and I was like, that's really cool, and he showed he showed the picture. I think it was on Facebook. He showed the picture, and it's a coffee it's like a coffee table. So he could put it in the house, and he said my wife approved of it, and I was like, oh well, you got your wife's approval, so it's a piece of furniture that you can use, but it's still a model. And I was saying to myself, okay, all right, we have to.
See, you found your workaround.
Yeah, you have to find your workaround.
Oh man. So James in the chat says, my dad and I had the idea of making a picnic table that transformed into the Enterprise. I design, he build. The day after he passed, I figured it all out.
Oh. I'd like to see that design, James. That'd be cool.
That would be cool. It's sad you weren't able to build it with him, but I'm glad you were able to figure it out, but it's kind of bittersweet on that one.
Yeah.
It's a little bit bittersweet.
Yeah, the Kirk. I was talking to Mike Scott last night, and I said, I have to build a Kirk chair. I said I built one like 20 years ago, and he said, oh, I always wanted a Kirk chair and this and that. Mike, he can't really talk about the things that he does for a living because he has a job, but he could talk about the stuff that he's been making. He made I don't know, he made certain like set pieces and stuff like that. He makes props, he makes models and everything.
Okay.
But I think we talked for about like an hour and a half last night, and he was saying he knew Greg Jean. I don't know if you know who Greg Jean is. Greg Jean worked on many movies. He was a model maker. He worked on Star Trek: The Motion Picture, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, The Hunt for Red October, The Abyss. He worked on all these movies. But Greg Jean, I think like two or 3 years ago, he passed away. But he had this tremendous Star Trek collection of like original stuff, like original phasers, original tricorders, or original communicators. He had Next Generation stuff. He had models from all these movies. And I mean, he was a model maker, so he made all these models. But he was talking to. I said, because I said to Mike last night. I said, well, I remember when when Greg Jean passed away, all of his stuff went to auction, all this stuff, and I was like, there was like hundreds of thousands of pieces like in auction, stuff from Deep Space Nine, stuff from Voyager, Next Generation, the original Star Trek, all the movies, all the Star Trek movies. All these different set pieces. Like it was just like wow. That's almost like there's a guy in Hollywood that like that Steve Neal knows. Can't think of his name. Bob Burns. So Bob Burns is a big collector, and Bob Burns has a lot of the 1950. I think he has from like the 40s on up. He has all of the original screen used models for all of those 1950s movies, the black and white movies. Some like the monster movies, and I think he was he was a big collector of the stuff like from Alien, like the Alien movie, franchise. So he has the original Cheyenne dropship.
Nice.
Used, in Aliens. He had all these set pieces and stuff like that. He actually had he did this thing on Halloween, like at his house every year, and in California, where you can actually, it was kind of like a haunted house type of thing, but it was on board the Nostromo, so you could walk through all the corridors and be chased by the aliens,
nice.
And
that is awesome.
Yeah, it was really cool. He charged for it, and he made a lot of money. He had lines around the block for his. People just waited in line around the block just to get in.
Hell yeah, man!
And see it was really cool.
I would be right in line too. That month, man. What?
Yeah, he had all. Yeah. So yeah, I think Mike Scott will be a really cool guest. He was, he was telling me, he told me like a few things, a few people that he met over the years and stuff like that. So he has a lot of stories.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool, man.
I met Mike and I met James, Mike, and Tony Hardy at Steve Neal's when I was working at Steve Neal's, and that's where I met James. And then I said, "So where do you live?" He goes, "Oh, I live in New Jersey." I said, "Oh," I said, "I live in New Jersey." And he goes, "Where?" I said, "I live in Parsippany." And he goes, "Oh yeah, I live in Bergen County." So I was like, "Oh, okay." So I think
cool.
when I got back, we went to Mike. We went to Mosquito Con, or I went to Mosquito Con with a couple of friends, and I met James there, and I said, "Hey, how's it going?" He goes, "George," and then that's how I met James. And then when I, when I created Model Citizen, I was like, dude, like if you want to be on, that'd be really cool.
Yeah, got to have you on, man. Got to have you on.
Yeah. So I'm gonna have to if you can send it if you can send James an STL, and he can print me up one of the crystals, I can make the crystal clear for you. Like I'll make a mold of it and make it all nice and
okay.
And make the crystal transparent red. I know it's transparent red.
Yeah.
You actually make it light up if you want.
Because see, I have clear resin, but
it doesn't come out clear.
But when you cure it, it has a really bad yellowish tint to it.
Oh,
so
okay.
Yeah. It's like it's clear going in, but not coming out.
Yeah.
So it should
sometimes have to cut it with acetone.
Yeah, it should be labeled clear-ish. So
clear-ish.
That's what it really should be labeled. And I've seen there's some people on YouTube, and haven't really seen anybody on TikTok, but I've seen some people on YouTube where they've worked with the clear resins to try and see if they can find a way to tint the resin
optically clear.
Well, not only just make it optical clear, but just add like little tints to it, like reddish tint, pink tints, green, blues, whatever like that. And I think the easiest one that showed up was more of the red, was like a deep, almost like a blood red, that type of red. That's what showed up the best. I think the blue actually made it the resin more clear because it kind of cut out the yellowish tint.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I found that like a lot of the props that were done in the 40s and the 50s.
Oh, okay. Vampers here says, dip the tip of a toothpick in purple coloring and mix it because the purple cancels out the yellow. I will try that. I'll definitely do that.
Cool.
I'll definitely do that. I appreciate that, Vampers. I will do that. See?
Yeah, the smooth on stuff I've been using, the clear. It can actually create optically correct clear resin. It's a two-part mixture, but it has UV inhibitors in it. So, over time it won't yellow, like if it's out in the sun or whatever.
SC in the chat says, so this is PG? In the TikTok chat, yes. SC, it's PG. We're keeping it PG here.
Yeah, keeping it PG.
Like I know, I have the reputation same as Thomas that an F-bomb or two will fly out. I know, but this is one of those times where I can at least curb my F-bombs for about roughly an hour.
No cussing on the show. No cussing. No cussing.
That plus the fact is that I'm not trying to pay $1 to Gretchen because Gretchen's scary. I'm sorry, Gretchen.
Yeah, she created the Patreon for the did she create the Patreon for the swear jar? The swear jar Patreon?
I think she is a Venmo. I think she just a Venmo.
It's a Venmo.
But either way, she's scary. Yeah, no swear jar for this one, because again, Gretchen's scary.
Messing with Gretchen reminds me of Ocean's 11, where they said the one guy that was played by Andy Garcia, where they stole all the money from his casino. He's like going, "Don't mess with him because he'll kill you, and then he'll go to work on you." That's
right.
That is Gretchen.
Yeah, that's
she'll kill you.
Yeah, and then she'll go to work. She'll kill you, and then there'll be misunderstandings and furniture moving right after.
I could just see Gretchen with the like the little coins like in John Wick, where she calls up for like body removal after she's killed all these people, and then she just gets the little gold coins and goes, dinner for 4 or something like that, something like that.
Right? I mean, yeah. So, yeah, I'm not. See, Thomas is fine. Thomas may not care about not paying $1 like that. I'm not paying $1.
I think Thomas is going to take us all to VidCon next year. We're going to have rooms and
he should.
He's going to walk around VidCon.
He should. He should just treat us all. So let's see. Essie here in the chat, TikTok chat says, with the resin, is there a chemical imbalance to clear, or is it just the fact that it's cured? With resin, clear resins, when it's cured, it always has a yellowish tint when it cures. Like the longer it cures, the more yellow it gets.
That's the 3D printed resin?
For 3D printed resin,
resin. Okay.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, the moldable resin that I use, I don't use 3D printed, like resin. I use resin where I would sculpt something, I'd make a mold of it, and then use clear resin. The clear resin I use, it's the hardener has an amber tint to it. The part A, so the part B would be the hardener, the part A would be the resin, and then when you combine those two, it kind of cancels each other out. But I use a vacuum chamber to take all the bubbles out of it before I pour it.
Right.
I mean, you're going to get some bubbles, but like when you go to mix it, you're actually injecting air into it to mix it. So I'm actually mixing it. So so when I'm doing like the kryptonite crystal stuff, that that's clear resin with a pigment.
Right.
And then I put I put the pigment in to part A, and then mix the hardener into that, and then I vacuum that as well. So
okay.
Like before I pour it, but pouring it is it actually injects air into it as you're pouring it, so you have to do very thin streams of resin to build it up. It all depends on your moles as well. If you heat up your moles, you get better. I think there was a thing where I put the silicone rubber moles into a heat box that I created that has like it has like foil sides, so it actually keeps the heat in. And then I heat up the molds, and then before I pour, I actually pour the resin into the mold. That's heated.
So yeah. Vampers here in YouTube says you can use a lighter to get rid of surface bubbles on some resins.
Yeah. Some resins are highly flammable.
Some are highly flammable, yes.
The smooth on one, oh my god! I said to them because I went I went to the store. They goes it has low VOCs, which is vapor on contact. But the girl goes, "Don't get this by any type of flame because this thing will just explode." And I was like, "Wow." It's like optically clear when it sets up, and I was like, "Oh,"
okay.
And
okay.
it doesn't really. She said you could use a vacuum pump or like a vacuum chamber to take all the bubbles out, but you don't have to. I said, "Why?"
Okay.
She said, "Well, the UV inhibitors in it dissipate the bubbles." I said, "Well, what about using a torch on top to do it?" She goes, "No, don't ever use a torch with this thing." They will not send it to your house. That's how explosive it is. They cannot ship it. You have to go to the place and go buy it. They cannot ship it. That's how explosive it is. I was like, "Oh, geez." It's expensive, though, too. It's expensive. It's like, I think for a quart of it is, it's funny. Like a lot of the others, smooth on stuff, the other smooth on resins are available on Amazon. This is not.
Yeah.
And it's more. I think she said it's more explosive in packaging when they have to fly it. I said, wait, so I can't ship it overseas? No, you can't buy it from overseas because they have to ship it in a plane and they have to bring. It's very explosive. I said, so how do I get this? And she goes, well, where do you live? I said, I live in Pennsylvania, right? The plant is in Pennsylvania, right? That's where Smooth On is. And I said,
right,
we mix it here in Pennsylvania, so you just have to drive to the plant and go get it. I was like, well, what about other people? She goes, we have other plants all over the place that mix it and you get it locally. And I was like, oh.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. So, so I'm guessing that the individual chemicals to mix it are not explosive, but once mixed together.
They are.
Oh, well.
They're extremely volatile.
Oh, well, never mind. And damn.
Yeah. They're actually mixed under vacuum, and there's no there's like no air that gets to it, and
of course, man, because I mean, you get
all their resins are mixed under vacuum. I asked the one guy at the plant.
Has to be because flame and oxygen, it spreads and boom, boom, boom.
Oxygen and moisture. It's a temperature control type, like mixing thing. It's all done by computer. It's all done like by robotic arms and robotic mixing devices, and all that is under vacuum. Nobody's in there going and sampling it and taking samples. The robot is taking samples for you and actually doing it. And their plant is like extremely high tech, but so when you get the product, it's optically correct when you mix the two parts together. And the two parts, it's really weird because, like, the the cast and craft clear resin that I used to get, the hardener had an amber color to it. So that was part B. Part A was clear, and you would mix the two, and they would basically cancel each other out and become clear.
Okay.
The crystal clear from Smooth On, the two parts are clear, and you don't know if it mixed right. You just have to basically
hope and pray to whatever god or gods you believe in. That's about it.
It has it says it has a low VOC, which is vapor on contact.
Okay.
It will cure at 73 degrees. It will it's better between 70 and 74 degrees Fahrenheit. It'll cure. Usually that's good for 24 hours, at 70 degrees, if you can maintain that temperature. My basement is very cold, so that's why you're not getting that's why you and Gretchen are not getting your kryptonite, things yet, because I have to wait until the summertime until my basement gets to like 65 to 70 in order for me to start doing stuff. So
no, yeah, I understand that, because
my basement's at 52 degrees and it's always wet, so I have a wet basement. So
no,
and it's just yeah, I've lost many a resin project in there, but
yeah, no, I understand, because again, with 3D printing and resin, it's like I have to keep the temperature, in my home at about anywhere from 70 to 75 if I want to. If I want to print something, it has to be like that, and it has to. I have to cut out as much humidity as I can. So I have air filters. I have either a fan going. Well, I always got a fan going, and of course I have to either turn the air on or turn the heat on. Have the fan going and have air filters, and so it's a whole thing.
Yep.
To do a print. It's not just like just flipping a switch on, pressing a button, and then it's not that simple. Or at least that part of it is, yes, that simple, but everything leading up to it, it's a whole thing.
Yeah, I know. I sent you something on Messenger. I found it the other day. It was text to CAD.
Okay.
You type in your text of what part you would like to see, and it creates a CAD part for you.
Oh.
A three-dimensional CAD part.
Okay.
So it's kind of like text to speech.
Yeah.
This is text to CAD. And then
now that is,
if you click on the website, it's really cool. I was like looking at it, and I was like, oh.
Now
so
that is super convenient.
Basically it transposes your word into CAD, into like CAD, drawings. But the thing I like about it is that you can convert the three-dimensional CAD drawing into an STL and put it in your 3D printer and print out the part, which I thought was really cool. That might,
that is really cool.
Be,
yeah,
a subject of our next, Helpdesk show, but it's also good for 3D prints.
Absolutely.
I think I
absolutely,
sent
I say,
Messenger. Which one did I send?
Oh yeah, here it is. Yep, found it here on the Messenger, and now I've got. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
It's called. It's Zoo text to CAD. Generate CAD from text prompts. Wow, it was really cool.
Let's see. Let's see. What do you foresee of the advancement in 3D printing technology? Let's see. I'm going to put it to you like this. You ever seen the replicators on Star Trek? That's what a 3D printer is. It's just a really primitive form of the replicator on Star Trek. Like at this point right now, I've seen where there's a construction company that 3D prints office buildings. They've 3D printed houses. There's a 3D printer where you can 3D print food.
Yes.
You can print out dentures. You can print out like veneers. You print out, anything. Literally, you can at this point right now you can make anything.
Yeah, the International Space Station has the 3D printer for food. I think they printed out a steak or something like that.
Yeah, you can print out.
No, sorry. They printed out pizza. That's what it was.
Okay, well, yeah, you could do that too. I've seen steaks being printed out, and I know International Space Station, they have one up there. They print out tools in case they need a tool or something like that. They need some kind of special made tool, and yeah. So at this point, replicator from Star Trek. Because at this point right now, we're literally making everything, but it's all separate printers for all separate things that need to be printed, So
I watched the model with I watched the model citizen episode because I usually go back. I watch, the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I was laughing. You were like, you said that they could, they can print out. They can literally replicate food and parts for the Enterprise, but they can't print out a uniform that fits you. I thought that was the most that was the greatest line. I was like, you're absolutely right, Dad. That thing where they have to keep pulling down.
Yeah, you have to keep. And like the only time I ever fixed that was in Deep Space Nine, and that was only because of Gary. That he was the tailor. But see, the thing is that he was just that was his cover.
Yeah, that was his cover.
And SC said body parts. Yes, you. Here's the thing, man. I'm gonna tell you like this. This is how I first got into 3D printing, because I was scrolling through YouTube and I saw a video where a guy made a Winter Soldier's arm. He 3D printed out a 3D soldier prosthetic arm for this kid that was missing an arm, loved Marvel, and guy made a like I said, Winter Soldier arm for him. Gave it to the kid, and to see the look on that kid's face when he got a Winter Soldier arm, I was like, yeah, that's something I want to do. And here I am today. Printing out all kinds of just oddball stuff. But at least at least I'm not like how with Dave the Viking, which Dave the Viking, if anybody knows Dave, anybody knows Dave, you've seen Dave, you know who Dave is, so Rouse High Exalted, check us out Wednesday nights. So you'll see some of our handiwork there. Dave the Viking said to me one day that if it'd be too dangerous for him to have a 3D printer, because he would print out dildos. People's faces are dildos. And here's the thing. And the thing is that you can already do that.
I thought I saw that thing you sent me, the Shrek toothpaste, dispenser.
Yeah.
Where you.
Yeah. There you go.
You squeeze the tube and it's coming out of his butt. I was like, and I sent that to my wife and she goes, "No, you're not getting a 3D printer. I don't want to see that thing." I don't want to see that thing in the bathroom. I was like, "But right? It's so cool, isn't it?"
But yeah, that was Dave saying he wanted to print out dildos with people's faces on it. that was one of the funny things ever.
We have to get a 3D printer for Dave the Viking.
Oh no. Because look at man. Dave with a 3D printer, that's a dangerous thing. And Dave will tell you that too.
Toothpaste. Yeah. That was great with Shrek. I was like, that's awesome.
And Vampirus here in the YouTube chat says that their husband is 2 classes shy of being a CAD tech engineer. That's awesome. Awesome. Congratulations to him. You know. And it starts with oddball stuff to improve yourself. Next thing you know, you're printing out GI robot. Yes. That is absolutely true. Like I've made Starscream, like the crown from Starscream. I've made Batman, cowls. I've made Jason masks. I've made Black Panther masks. I've Stone of Baron's Aya, and so it's a journey. It's a journey. It's a lot of fun. You can make a lot of like just great custom weird oddball stuff, or you could do like Dave and just make like a whole shelf of dildos with people's faces on it. Yeah. Dave, man.
Creativity at its best.
So shout out to Dave. Dave, man. Oh my God.
Creativity at its best.
And James, a lotion dispenser in the
shape of,
odds are there's probably a lotion dispenser in the shape of a dildo. I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised at all. Like when you push it, it skeet. This is supposed to be a family show.
PG went right out the window.
PG is gone.
and not even PG-13. It's
yeah. Like
get like an X rating.
Like skirt right up there. Like right at the edge.
Boiled right to the surface and then evaporated.
So like, you can start a GoFundMe for Dave to get him a printer if you want to.
Well, it worked with it. It worked. I think it worked for Jeff. So.
So I don't know, but yeah, having given that much power to Dave, I don't know if you want to do that, man, because that's a dangerous thing, man.
It'd be interesting to see the things that he comes up with.
Oh yeah, it'd be great. I'm not gonna lie, it'd be the greatest thing ever. It would. Dangerous, but the greatest thing ever.
He'd probably make hundreds of millions on the TikTok shop, so there you go.
Hey, if people can sell, seafood on the TikTok shop,
Mm-hmm.
and people could sell steaks and all this other stuff like that on TikTok shop, man, come on.
Crab boil. There you go. Crab boil on TikTok shop. I'm like, yeah, I don't think
like,
that's
why?
like ordering gas station sushi.
It's like, no. No. Can't happen. Can't do that. Oh, man. Oh, my goodness.
So I'm endeavoring to create the diorama, the Leviathan diorama with the scientist who gets real big from Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea.
Oh, awesome.
I'm in like design.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just drawing it out now to figure out scale, of the figure.
Okay.
I watched the episode like a bunch of times and I laughed my ass off, but yeah. So I really have to. I use this this stuff from Smooth On. It's like epoxy. It's like epoxy sculpt. It's a dough. It's a 2-part type of dough. It's epoxy dough, and it looks like clay.
Mm-hmm.
And you have a part A, which is like white, and then you have a part B, which is gray, and then you take equal parts of each, you put it together, and you basically just knead it like dough. And what's cool about it is that you could put it over a form, and when it hardens, it's epoxy. So it's like this gray skin. It's like a hard skin that you could put over like foam or whatever you're gonna do. Like put it over your sculpture.
Right.
But as it's setting up, if you don't want it so jagged, you can smooth it out with water. It's water soluble. You can smooth the whole thing out with water, and then just let it set up for 24 hours, and then it's basically epoxy. So it's like making your sculpture out of resin before you paint it. It's like that.
Right. Okay.
It's really cool. I was looking at it now, but I've used it before to repair stuff, and the one guy in the video says you could repair your car, like if you have a rust spot in the metal. If you didn't want to have to use like body filler, you could use this stuff, and it's sandable, it's paintable, you can smooth it out with just ordinary water, and it's epoxy. Yeah, it's really cool.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So
that is pretty cool.
That's going to be another. Yeah, that's going to be another thing that I'm going to have to buy. That's also made by Smooth On. I have to use my dragon skin. I have some dragon skin down here. The dragon skin stuff. If you had something where you, like if you want to make like the Kato mask or the Green Hornet mask or whatever, I could use dragon skin for that if you want.
Oh,
I know that
that's cool.
I know the Green Hornet mask. It's like a pair of eyeglasses because it has the.
Yeah.
It
has like the thing that goes on your ear. Yeah.
Yeah. That's where.
Hey, that's one of those.
Use like a life cast.
So that's one of those. That's one of those things that I'm surprised it never just kind of randomly fell off. Like in the middle of a fight. You know what I mean?
Well, it had a strap on it. That's why. It had a strap in the back, so it wouldn't come off. But I'm like, yeah,
So, but, I mean,
wearing that and
It's like it's not a it's one of
It's
the
not like a Batman cowl. Like the Batman cowl wouldn't.
like,
come
I
off
mean,
during a fight.
it's not going to come off during a fight, but that has too much potential of coming off during a fight, or impairing your vision to where it could
True.
just randomly move. Like
Yeah.
it's not a very effective effective means of. It's just not effective at all.
It's like a pair of eyeglasses, but I'm like, you can
Yes.
knock eyeglasses off of somebody.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was. Like when you're a kid, you don't think about those things.
Right, and it doesn't occur to you
yeah.
until you get a little bit older, and then you start looking around, and it's like something happens, and you see that you see sunglasses or you see eyeglasses, something like that, where somebody does this,
Yeah,
and they fall
come
off,
Yeah,
and you're thinking, it's like, hold up, how come the Green Hornet's mask never fell off like that? Right.
like yeah, like in the middle of a fight, and I was saying to myself, well, when you see them fight, they're usually not in well lit. Well, some of the episodes are not in well lit corners. I mean, I
Right.
see Batman and Robin. Robin is always like, I'm like, if his mask ever came off, yeah, you would see that.
Yeah. But I get that was just one of those things where if you think about it, you look at it and you think about it, it's like, oh, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make a lot of sense right there.
There is an episode where Robin actually falls into clay, into like this pink clay, and his mask comes off in the episode, and then in the next scene, his mask is back on, and it's all clean of all of all the clay. I'm like, dude, his mask came off.
It's like, how that happened? It's like, how did that happen, man? And the only thing you left to think is that, well, I guess maybe he had an extra mask in his belt or something. I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
That's funny.
But I think the Green Hornet mask, that may be another one that another print that I can, and maybe on the back burner now to work on.
Mm-hmm.
Like something, an effective design to that mask. Something
it would have to be it would have to be contoured to your face.
Well, yeah, absolutely, yeah. I mean, that just goes by person to person, but just something where it's effective, where it won't move around like that, to where it won't impair your vision, to where you can look up, down, left, right, out, the whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's basically where the dragon skin would come in, because you can pigment the dragon skin, like the dragon skin stuff. It's a silicone, so it would actually, conform to your face. You would actually, what they would usually do back in the day is, they do now is, they do what's known as a life cast. So they would actually put a skull cap over your hair. Okay. Any hair that you had, they would shave off your beard, your mustache, all this other stuff, or they would put some sort of like a protectorant over the hair. And then what they would do is they would take alginate and put alginate all over your head. Now the alginate is basically it's like a it's a silicone based medium. You mix it up with water, and they would actually pack it on to your head and your neck, and then a little bit of like your bust, like a little bit of your chest here, like on your shoulders, and then they would wait for the alginate to harden. Once it hardens, then they would take the two pieces, apart, and they would have a mold of the back of your head and your face, the front of your head. And then what they would do is they put the two pieces back together again. They would pour in plaster of Paris and make a solid model of your head and your neck and everything else. Probably don't have to do that now with the 3D printing. That was the old way of doing it. So when they were doing all the stuff like for Star Trek, for Planet of the Apes as well, like the original Planet of the Apes movie series, they would take clay and put clay onto the plaster mold of the people, who they did. Right. And they would sculpt out the clay off of that, and then they would make another 2-part mold of that. And then, the makeup would fit only that person. So say like in Planet of the Apes, they had Cornelius, which was played by Roddy McDowall. They had to do like a life cast of his head. So they did a life cast of him. They did a life cast of Kim Hunter, who played Zira, of Maurice Evans, who played Dr. Zaius. They had to do all those for all those actors and actresses, and then, they would make the thing. And Steve Neal taught me how to do all this stuff. I'm like, I don't need. It's cool to see to do it, right? But I don't think we need to do that anymore. With 3D printing, you could basically scan somebody's face. Like you could get a 3D, get a 3D scanner, scan your face, and then from that 3D scan, you could basically make the Green Hornet mask, and it would fit you, fit your facial features.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And again, with a 3D scanner, for anybody that is listening, may, have questions about it or something like that.
James.
Talk to James. James. Yeah.
James.
Yeah. So I tried to use, there's an app on Google and on iOS to use your phone or a tablet as a 3D scanner. It doesn't quite work right. It's you got to look at it like it's not it.
It's okay not, for simple objects. But complex objects.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's cool for like if you want to scan like a cup or or a box or jewelry boxes or something like that. Then that's great. Not a problem. But when you get into like people's faces, then that's where you get some problems there. So, and that's the case, and those issues where that's where it is absolutely beneficial to get a 3D scanner, something that's actually dedicated, a camera dedicated to that. So,
right.
So anyway, so we come to the end of the show, man.
Yep. And Christian did not get on, so that's right.
End of the show, so I guess, hey, she was not able to find anything to, keep the kiddo busy.
Yeah.
Because, oh my God, this tablet. Jesus Christ.
I know, that tablet is like gone, man.
That tablet is Jesus Christ.
Wow. I mean, at first I thought that was like a laptop. I'm like, oh look, it's a laptop on top of the crushed cabinet. I was like,
that's what I thought too.
Oh, that's the tablet itself. That's the tablet bottom pan.
Oh, because first I thought it was a laptop, and I said, no, it's a little too. That's too small to be a laptop. Maybe it's a phone. No, it's not a phone. It's not one of those folding phones. I said, no. Oh.
And then I saw the back of it, and I'm like, oh, it's the speaker, and it's the audio plug on the bottom. I was like, yeah, that's the And then I recognized the main logic board, and I was like, okay, yeah.
Yeah. I don't think you'd be able to get that fixed. I don't think you'll be able to get that fixed.
No.
I mean, Gretchen, you might have to.
My father's got this awesome set of TV tools, man. I mean, we could buff it out. It'll be great. That's what it reminds me of.
Right? Hey, Gretchen, I know you may not want to do this, but you're going to have to invest in something new. I don't know if you can fix this. Because, oh my God. Oh my God. But anyway, let's go ahead and end this show, man, because
that's the show. Sorry.
Because
no guests this week, but we talked for a while, so
hey, God gave a little bit of lesson, and I learned a little something. Thank you, Vampirus, for the tip on
everybody in the chat. Thanks for sticking with us. I'm sorry that I bored the hell out of you, but hopefully our next show might be okay. We'll see what happens.
And Essie will work on getting Dave a 3D printer, so he can come on the show and show us all the dildos he printed.
His political dildo collection. There you go. Hey, yeah, that's gonna be fun. Okay.
That's gonna trigger everybody. Well, everybody that wears a red hat. I should say that.
Well, this has been GCPR. This has been Model Citizen on GCPR, Ghost Club Productions Radio. I'm your host, George Dayer, and I'm flanked by my wonderful host. I can't. Oh my God, I'm blank. Gilbert. I'm sorry. I'm blanking on your name. I'm just so tired, man. I'm really tired. I'm sorry. Anyway, angry IT nerd. We will hopefully see you next week. Hopefully we'll have a guest next week. I'm gonna try to line up a guest, anybody. I'll try to grab somebody off the street. I don't know, and just throw them in front of the camera. But
it's like, hey, do you have a printer? Yeah. Get on the show now.
Maybe we can have Dave the Viking on. That'd be awesome. We have Dave the Viking on talking about printing out dildos with those faces on them. That would be good. So
okay. we'll work on that. We'll work on that.
Yeah. We'll work on that one. Okay. So,
but
all right. This has been Model Citizen on GCPR. Hopefully we'll see you next week. Well, we will see you next week, but hopefully we will have a guest next week. So for Gretchen and Gilbert and myself and James and everybody here at GCPR, have a good day.